Now at 7, the Trump administration ramping up pressure for European countries opposing a U.S. takeover of Greenland. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live with what locals had to say. And we are hearing from a man wrongfully convicted of murder decades ago who helped pass legislation to compensate those wrongfully convicted in Oregon back in 2022.
Being the second person in Oregon to get a certificate of innocence, I'm pretty sure more people in Oregon won the lottery.
How much the state finally paid him coming up at 7:30 plus.
And I wrote, hey, who wants to cook with grandma today?
A group of grandmas in Italy teaching perfect strangers off the street how to make pasta just in time for the Winter Olympics. We'll have more on those Italian grandmas coming up at 7:15. Sunrise streaming live at 7 starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green, headed over to Chris Hill. Wow, you guys. This
Get her some more coffee.
Is the Mondayest Monday ever. Rod Hill.
Yes.
Chris McGinnis.
Yes.
They're standing by. It's only like we haven't worked together for 3 years, but.
You are?
New.
New. Okay, that makes sense. All right, here's a look at our live camera. Good morning on this Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Monday. Well, here we go again. The Sunshine Parade continues. Absolutely gorgeous view. Within an hour of the rising sun, but getting a little bit of a twilight color out there this morning. This is the Springs of the Waterfront in Vancouver, and this has been one of the colder spots. Pearson Airfield right along the Columbia there, 27 degrees. Here's a view from the Wells Fargo camera. Similar conditions, 33. Now the temperature's out at PDX. And here's the blue sky with frost on the grass in front of the Capitol down in Salem where it's 28 degrees. So yes, chilly start, but the sun will be with us. We'll be mid-40s at noon. Could get up to 50 for a high. Yesterday we had a mixed bag of some areas making it to 50 and other parts of the city only in the upper 40s. That's your Monday forecast. Here's Chris.
Ron, thanks for that. So far on this Martin Luther King holiday, traffic light as you might expect here across the freeway system, but it's getting a little bit busier. There's Highway 26 out near the Sylvan Hill. A few more cars making that inbound drive past Skyline Boulevard. Right now, 13 minutes get you in from Hillsborough, so that's not so bad. We've been talking about this for days and days, and for you folks east of the Cascades, that low cloud lockdown, if you will, keeps things very foggy and also potentially icy out there. That's US 97 near Ty Ridge in Wasco County. We'll go farther south into central Oregon. A lot of rural Oregon roadways east of the Cascades this morning are trapped under that fog and possibly some icy conditions. So watch yourself if you're traveling through that part of the state. China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. An investigation is underway after North Portland Church caught fire just before midnight last night. Fire crews responded to North Willamette Boulevard and North Liberty Street, where they found the roof of Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses on fire. Crews were able to quickly contain the fire and say that there were no injuries. The cause of the fire is under investigation. President Donald Trump says he plans to impose a 10% tariff and later 25% on several European countries unless Denmark gives Greenland to the U.S. NBC's Alice Barr has more on how leaders across the globe are responding.
This morning, the world responding to President Trump's escalating pressure campaign to take control of Greenland, where protesters took to the streets.
I think he can scare people. He can't scare Greenlanders.
While European allies push back against the president's announcement of a new 10% tariff on goods from Denmark and 7 other countries, ramping up to 25% by June, until the Danes agree to sell their territory of Greenland to the U.S. European ambassadors holding an emergency meeting in Brussels, saying the tariff threats risk a dangerous downward spiral in relations, while the Danish prime minister said, quote, Europe will not be blackmailed. President Trump is adamant the U.S. needs to own Greenland for national security.
If we don't have it, we have a big hole in national security, especially when it comes to what we're doing in terms of the Golden Dome.
A reference there to the missile defense system the president wants to build to guard against any air attacks. Critics noting the U.S. already has a military base in Greenland.
Denmark and Greenland have both said to the United States, you can take what measures you need to protect the security of the United States, and of course the NATO alliance.
Instead, calling the push a land grab for Greenland's critical minerals. The Treasury Secretary rejects that.
He's looking beyond this year, he's looking beyond next year to what could happen for a battle in the Arctic. We are not going to outsource our national security.
A high-stakes back and forth sending tensions rising with American allies. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And in our area, locals are responding to the escalating tensions too. Center reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from downtown Portland. So Thomas, what's the latest?
Well, China at a town hall in Clackamas County, Oregon Senator Ron Wyden slammed Trump's plans to increase tariffs on countries pushing back against his idea to annex Greenland. We also spoke to a man named Brady Jensen, who's the president of Nordic Northwest. That's a nonprofit focused on preserving Nordic culture in the Pacific Northwest. Jensen says many in Denmark are confused by President Trump's plans because the United States already has military access to Greenland.
They're objecting to the idea of trying to force an empire. And that's what Donald Trump is trying to do, and there's going to be great opposition, and I'll join it.
The United States already has treaty rights that allow it to expand its military presence in Greenland.
Though on Truth Social, President Trump posted in part on Saturday, quote, "China and Russia want Greenland, and there is not a thing Denmark can do about it. Only the United States of America under President Donald J. Trump can play in this game." On Meet the Press, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent backed the president, saying it's in America's best interest to take full control of Greenland.
I believe that the Europeans will understand that the best outcome is for the U.S. to maintain or receive control of Greenland.
Of course, that's a stance that Denmark and many European countries continue to strongly disagree with. Jenna.
Thomas, thank you. In other local headlines this morning, a motorcyclist is dead after he lost control of his bike in Woodland, Washington. Happened around 1:30 Sunday afternoon on I-5 near exit 21. Washington State Patrol says the rider, a 60-year-old man from Mosey Rock, hit a barrier and was flung from the bike. The rider died at the scene. Meantime, Kelso police are looking into what caused the person to get hit and killed by an Amtrak train. Excuse me. It happened sometime around 5 p.m. on Saturday near Cowlitz Way and North First Avenue. Police say the train hit the man while he was trespassing on BNSF property. No one else was hurt, but the train service was delayed for a while. Portland Fire is asking people to stay warm and safe after Lloyd District Restaurant was damaged by a fire yesterday. Firefighters were called to the Red Robin on Northeast Grand, where they found a fire burning along the exterior wall and spread inside. They were able to put it out before it could spread outside the sprinkler system. They say the fire burned after a nearby warming fire at a homeless camp spread out of control. A 4-day work week is now full-time for most county employees in one Washington community. San Juan County, which is north of Seattle, has officially adopted a 32-hour work week after a 2-year pilot program. It's the first county in the state to make the change permanent, meaning most employees now work 4 8-hour days with Fridays off without any pay cut. And for one mom, she says it's been life-changing.
It eased the parenting guilt that I can still be present, at least on Fridays for school events. I currently volunteer at the PTO for our school every Friday, and I'm just more present in the kids' lives.
County leaders say productivity has remained steady while work-life balance has improved. A report found not only do people take less sick time, but there was also a sharp increase in job applicants and $2 million in taxpayer savings over 2 years. I feel like that's a great idea because most people know you have one day to relax. You're recovering Friday after your shift. You have Saturday to relax.
Yeah.
And then Sunday you have to do errands and then get back into your schedule.
We talked about this earlier and you agreed with me. The 16-hour work week would be the sweet spot.
Life-changing.
Yeah, that would be life-changing.
Yes.
And I don't want to do back-to-back days. Let's pick maybe a Monday and a Wednesday.
And that's it. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect.
Here's a look at our Lincoln City camera from Schnookwyns Casino Resort. I tell you what, the coast, we often say it when you get these temperature inversion, high pressure ridge setups in the winter, the coast is nearly always the garden spot in terms of sunny, warm weather. And we will be looking at mid to upper 50s up and down the coast again. I think the forecast down in North Bend, the South Oregon coast, is 62 today. Crazy. Here's the Salem Tasting Room with Cameron Sherwood. We're about 35 minutes out from sunup at this point. Temperatures are a mixed bag. I mean, it's 24 in Battleground. It's 39 in downtown Portland. That's a big variance. 37 Oregon City. 32 out in Forest Grove. Hillsboro now freezing. Salem has been freezing, 28 degrees. That matches you folks down in Corvallis and Albany. Weather map for today is basically all dry. We still have these low cloud lockdown areas, which begin in the gorge from about Hood River eastward through the Dalles, Pendleton, and then up into the Columbia Basin of Washington. Also extends down through parts of the Central Oregon area along the east slopes of the Cascades. Both Redmond and Bend showed below freezing temperatures yesterday with only 3-degree warm-ups. The Dalles, you could be only about 37, 38 again today. Pendleton only around freezing. So we do have those areas going on. But up and down I-5, we have sunshine and the valley sunshine. About 50 in Portland today and tomorrow. I have us dry through Thursday. We are watching at least a shower threat on Friday and Sunday, which may not come true. And by the way, Thursday right now is the circle day, believing that the east winds could finally get out of here. That's your update for now.
Folks in East County, Troutdale, Gresham, looking forward to that east wind shutting down. All right, locally and across the metro area, the freeways are in pretty good shape, as you might expect on this holiday Monday, MLK holiday. I-5 near the Interstate Bridge, typically we would already be bumper to bumper from here back to SR 500. This is not the case this morning, right? That drive in from Main Street, easy breezy, 8 minutes or so gets you in from there to the Fremont Bridge. Quick look at the Sylvan Hill, Highway 26, getting a little bit busier there as well. But once again, the drive time's barely registering a blip out there. We still have a speed limit commute heading into downtown Portland, so no major trouble just yet. China.
Thank you, Chris. Italy, home of the Winter Olympics this year. It's also home to some of the best food in the world. Coming up, we're taking a look at a group of grandmas teaching strangers how to make pasta. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We are just 18 days out from the Winter Olympics in Italy, and one of the things Italy is known for is the amazing food. Scott Son and photojournalist Steve Rhodes introduce us to a group of grandmas who know how to make it better than anyone else.
When they book, they think it's a cooking class. What they got is a little bit more than a cooking class. You have the hug, the end of personal space. What are you doing? You have the mask. Yelling. They're not yelling, they're speaking, you know, it's just our tone of voice. They have the experience of cooking with the nonna. That can be dangerous. And eating with the nonna, that can be dangerous too, because she will feed you until it will explode. Hello, my name is Chiara, and welcome to Palombara Sabina. I grew up here in this village, and 8 years ago I started this project called Handmade Pasta with Grandma. I showed a picture with my phone and I posted that on the social media, and I wrote, hey, who wants to cook with Grandma today? What I didn't expect is that the world answered. Suddenly we have people walking in our streets in the middle of nowhere in Italy looking for the pasta grandma. That it was my grandma. And I remember I asked her, oh Nonna, do you mind if I let these people in? And she said, open the door. There were the other grandmas around the neighborhood, because here everybody knows each other. And they started to casually knock at our door when there were our American tourists inside and say, I know how to make pasta, me too. And I say, okay, come in. All the grandmothers, they started to be part of this project, and so it became like a community business.
Benvenuti. Welcome, chef. Welcome in Grandma's kitchen.
Then we were asked to have a TV show.
The nonni are coming to New York.
And we were asked to bring our format around the world. A lot of these grandmas, they never left the village before. And now we're going around. It's never under control. There's no way you stop them from saying what they think, from doing what they want. It's just too fun. Okay, with the palm of your hand, let it roll under your hand. Really good. The grandmas can be really jealous of their dough and their own pasta, because the result is really important. If a grandma gives you the possibility to touch her dough, that means they're really creating a moment that lasts forever. Making pasta together means being part of a family. I think that once you get an Italian family, you cannot lose it, if you want or not.
Ciao ragazzi, ciao.
The opening ceremony for the Milan Cortina Olympics is Friday, February 6th. You can watch it right here on KGW. So I have two sisters. We have different dads.
Yeah.
They're Italian. Their dad is very Italian, Brooklyn, New York. They look Italian. I look adopted when I'm with them. They have the accent. They cook like it. And I'm, my dad is like this Southern guy from Texas with a Southern accent. And I want to fit in. And I want to make like pasta with them. But it's just cool to see the, I don't know how to explain it, the culture.
No, I get it. I mean, I was thinking of that story, which I enjoyed. The only thing I really got from the story was it was really pleasant to watch the smiling grandmas.
Yeah.
And everybody seemed really happy while they were making pasta.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not Italian at all, but I want to be, and I want to make some pasta. So.
Well, all right, you're in. Here's a look at our air quality map. This temperature inversion pattern continues. That produces kind of stagnant air potentially. We've had these air stagnation advisories up for quite some time now for parts of our state. Not directly over Portland because of the east wind flow that's coming out of the gorge. Even though a lot of us aren't noticing any wind down low, it is up high and that mixes the air out. Up and down I-5, the green dots are good. The yellow dots are moderate. There's unhealthy for areas that could struggle with some respiratory ailments in parts of Marion County. But generally, if you look, the air quality is holding its own. It's okay. All right, wind gusts today. East winds currently gusting to 40 at Troutdale. This continues to be a pattern that's really only in proximity to the opening of the gorge. Literally, you get away from this, and there's not much wind anywhere. And it is enough wind coming out of the gorge aloft that it keeps us from getting foggy. So it's really a pretty morning. There are a couple east wind splintered areas. There's Newport picking up an east wind to 25 miles per hour right now. All right, so outside of that, most of us, valley and coast, are just dealing with another sunny day with light winds, chilly start, very pleasant afternoon temperatures. That was Schnuckwin's Casino Resort in Lincoln City. There's the Chehalem Tasting Room camera from Sherwood. There's a really pretty Vancouver camera. Folks crossing the Interstate Bridge this morning from the Springs at the waterfront. Temperatures 27 in Kelso. It's also been in the 20s in Clark County. 33 now at PDX along the Columbia. Salem is 28. Eugene is 24. And then we've got 11 degrees this morning out in Burns where it is clear. We still have overcast skies from Bend up through Redmond, Hood River, the Dalles, Pendleton, out into the Columbia Basin from that temperature inversion, what I call low cloud lockdown. And if you're underneath those clouds, I don't think they break today. And you'll probably just warm up at literally a few degrees, less than 5 from whatever your morning temperature is with no wind. That's been the pattern. At the coast, look at this, 58 in Pacific City, 58 degrees in Newport. For the valley, upper 40s to about 50s, kind of where we've been. That's where we expect to be again today. Sunny skies, east winds 5 to 15. The gorge, you've got sunshine in the west end, but by the time you get to Hood River, you're running into clouds. It shows Hood River and the Dalles holding in the 30s today underneath the cloud cover. East winds still gusting to 50 in places like Crown Point and Corbett, and up to 40, 45 coming into Troutdale out of the gorge. 7-day forecast, little change today or tomorrow. I've got us all dry through Thursday. I'm watching still a shower threat on Friday and Sunday, but understand these shower threats might be more in my imagination than anything. We could easily just simply stay dry. Here is Chris.
The third wettest month on average in Portland. This is remarkable for sure. All right, let's get you out the door. Rod mentioned that low cloud lockdown, the fog and whatnot on the east side. This is a look at US 197 over near Tie Ridge. That's in Wasco County. I mean, you can see it is foggy and the temperature is 23 degrees. So obviously areas of freezing fog out across the Columbia Basin and down into central Oregon. If you're traveling through this area, just be aware that the roads could be a little icy there for sure for folks stuck underneath that low cloudiness. All right, the west side and specifically in the metro area, as you can imagine on a holiday Monday, our drive is actually in great shape. This is I-5 near the Interstate Bridge, zipping right along there. 9 minutes right now gets you in from Main Street south to the Fremont. No problems over the Glenn Jackson Bridge either. So far, so good on the freeways. China?
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on Sunrise, a train crash in Spain kills 39 people. We'll have a look at the latest, plus more of your world news when Sunrise continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
A deadly train crash in southern Spain is under investigation after it killed 39 people. Authorities say one train derailed late Sunday and slammed into an oncoming train, forcing it off its tracks. Rescue crews worked through the night as dozens were injured. The cause of the derailment remains unclear. The Chilean president declared a state of catastrophe after at least 18 people were killed in a growing forest fire. According to authorities, the fire has burned more than 21,000 acres of forest and destroyed hundreds of buildings and homes. Law enforcement there say that they expect the death toll to rise as they continue to comb through the fire-affected areas. Developing in Minneapolis, 2 U.S. officials told the Associated Press that the Pentagon has ordered about 1,500 active duty soldiers to be ready in case of a possible deployment to Minnesota. Last week, President Donald Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act in response to protesters in Minneapolis. The city's mayor pushed back on the escalation of law enforcement.
This act was clearly designed to intimidate the people of Minneapolis. And here's the thing. We're not going to be intimidated. If the goal here is safety, we've got many mechanisms to achieve safety. And the best way to get safety is not to have an influx of even more agents, and in this case, military, in Minneapolis.
The White House rapid response says, quote, the Trump administration is not going to surrender to the radical left and let Minneapolis get back to rampant fraud, theft, and sanctuary for criminals. Coming up in our next half hour, it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and Thomas Schultz joins us live with a look at events happening around our area. Plus,
I've heard some people calling it the speed quake already, not only because it was speedy at the beginning of the game, but because he's so fast.
the Beastquake finally overthrown. We are looking back at yesterday's Seahawks game at Lumen Field that shook the ground. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues after this.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Coming up on 7:29 on your Monday morning drive. Anyone commuting through eastern Oregon, east the Cascades really, so central Oregon, Columbia Basin, you're going to be dealing with this. Frosty roadways out there with that low cloud deck. Rod will talk more about that, but it's been like this for days, and it is like that again this morning. Locally in the Portland, Vancouver metro area, as you can imagine, light volume out there. We're zipping around just fine, and with the holiday, of course, MAX buses and trains running on Sunday schedules. No West Commuter Rail or PDX aerial tram for MLK Monday. Rod?
Yeah, and Chris, some areas that are included in that low cloud lockdown, Redmond, the Dalles, Hood River, Pendleton, all of you should expect whatever your current temperature is right now, you may only warm up 2 to 3 degrees during the day. which is what happened yesterday. Now you get to the coast, you get to the Willamette Valley, and generally speaking, it's just a beautiful sunny morning. That was Lincoln City. Here's Lewis River Golf Course up in Woodland, clear skies. You can see some frost delay on the grass there. Portland is near freezing out of PDX at 33, but a lot of you are in the 20s this morning. 45 degrees at noon. We'll make it up close to 50 for a high and then start cooling down, of course, going into the evening. All dry through at least Thursday.
Good morning. Did you know that today is National Popcorn Day?
Oh, yes, I heard.
And last week we told you that you could bring your own bucket to Cinemark to get up to 3 gallons of popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
Other theaters are also getting in on the fun. So Real says that if you dress up in your favorite costume and head to the movies, you can score a free large popcorn. You can also win 3 months of Regal Unlimited if you take a picture of you in your costume with your popcorn and tag Regal.
That's it?
That's it. AMC also, well, you get entered.
$10 value, by the way.
AMC is also offering free popcorn to members of its Popcorn Pass program, and you can find a full list of deals going on over on our website, KGW.com.
My favorite costume is Weatherman, by the way.
You just walk in?
They can't dispute that, right? If you just walk in and say your costume is Weatherman,
No.
you get the popcorn.
No.
No?
No, I'm saying yes.
Oh, it works.
Right. Yeah, they can do that. I make popcorn every week. It's my snack of choice.
Really?
Yes,
Every week?
Every week. To try to be healthier. If I want to snack on something, I do that. So I get salted. I get it salted, plain. Okay. And then I have I can't believe it's not butter spray.
It's not butter, you know.
I know it's not. And then I spray it, and then I can just I have it on a bowl covered on the counter, and I can just go after it, and I feel better myself.
Big caramel person. Myself.
Caramel corn.
Caramel on the popcorn.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
There's some in the newsroom. There's one unopened big bucket somebody
Oh,
brought in.
yeah.
Cracker Jacks. Here we go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay.
All right. Just like the weekend, really, our weather forecast. Depends on where you are. You may be above freezing or you may be in the 20s with frost. We do have frost on the grass now in front of the Capitol. You can see it right there. Beautiful morning in Salem. Good morning to you. 28 is your current temperature. Here's downtown Portland, a similar clear sky. Downtown and PDX have both been generally holding above freezing. Now, PDX is down to 33, so I bet you the low drops down to 32 at least officially this morning. Winds are calm there. We'll be mid-40s at noon. Another day where it will be upper 40s to about 50 or 51 between Vancouver, Portland, and Salem for high temperatures. Pretty nice day. We do have the east wind still gusting out in close proximity to the gorge. Here's Chris.
And of course, on the east side of the state, east slopes of the Cascades, it's a different story. It looks like this, right? Under the low cloudiness, the fog, and the temperatures there are well below freezing. So a lot of Oregon roadways through central Oregon and through the Columbia Basin look like this, frosties. So for anyone traveling to and from there, obviously today, just be aware that just like the last couple of days, it's likely pretty icy across that part of the state. Locally, obviously, we've got very light volume on this MLK holiday Monday morning, and so far the drive times reflect that. We're zipping along just fine out of Clark County, looking pretty good out of Hillsborough as well. That's a 13-minute commute to get you from Brookwood Parkway to I-405. So far, so good. China?
Thank you, Chris. This morning, the Clackamas Fire Department is investigating the cause of a fire that left 2 people without a home. Fire crews responded to the home in Milwaukee around 2:30 a.m. According to Clackamas Fire, when crews got there, they found a fire extended from the back porch into the attic. They say high winds caused the fire to spread rapidly, but firefighters were able to put the flames out before it spread to any neighboring homes. The fire department says 2 people were evacuated, but they were not injured. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Greater Albany Public Schools will have counselors available for students this week after a teenager died last week. Albany Police Department says it happened sometime after 10 o'clock Friday night. At this point, investigators believe 16-year-old Paige McClintock was hit by a car after that car was hit by a rolling tool chest. McClintock was taken to the hospital where she died of her injuries. An investigation is ongoing. A man wrongfully convicted of murder in Oregon has now been compensated by the state. Scott Cannon spent 11 years in prison. After getting out, he spent even longer trying to get justice for his wrongful conviction. Jake Coulter has the story.
How do you get your life back? How do you get your time?
In 1998, Scott Cannon was arrested for the murder of 3 people, a crime he did not commit. He was convicted in 2000 and sentenced to 3 life sentences after at one point facing the death penalty.
That's absolutely nerve-wracking, having people decide your fate and knowing that there was so many different instances throughout the trial itself where the prosecution was taking liberties with the facts.
One example is the prosecution's use of, quote, comparative bullet-lead analysis, a forensic method the FBI stopped using in 2005 and has widely been declared unreliable. But during the trial, Cannon says the prosecution told the jury that the analysis meant there was a 1 in 64 million chance they had the wrong guy.
It was not disclosed prior to my trial that they had consulted with State Police Crime Lab and were told that bullet lead analysis was a buyer beware testing and that they wouldn't do it.
After getting in touch with an expert in the forensics field while incarcerated, that got the ball rolling to Cannon's eventual exoneration in 2009. Afterwards, the fight began for Cannon's justice.
Oregon had no law on the books whatsoever that even allowed a person to claim compensation for wrongful conviction.
After lobbying for years, the legislature passed the Oregon Justice for Exonerees Act in 2022. And this week, Cannon was compensated and issued a certificate of innocence.
Being the second person in Oregon to get a certificate of innocence, I'm pretty sure more people in Oregon won the lottery.
That certificate, he hopes, will help him rebuild his life. Going forward, Cannon says he will continue to lobby for more legislation to help people who have been in his position.
There's more to be done, and I have hope.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
Cannon says that he wants to see improvements made on the Justice for Exonerees Act, as well as a bill addressing discredited science used in wrongful convictions. This morning, we're continuing to follow a local protest against the government immigration crackdown. Over the weekend, local groups gathered downtown at Terry Shrunk Plaza. They say to stand against the Trump administration and call for ICE to get out of Portland. One organizer says after the deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis and the Border Patrol shooting in Portland, the urgency for city leaders to act is greater than ever.
People are pissed. People are upset, and this has led to a lot of people jobless, a lot of people being deported, a lot of people scared for their life to go outside, and it's not living up to what what the American dream is.
Meantime, the woman shot by a Border Patrol agent in Southeast Portland earlier this month made her first court appearance Friday afternoon for immigration charges. Prosecutors say she illegally entered the U.S. in 2023. She's being held on a criminal complaint filed in Texas. The last 100 Oregon Army National Guard members who were mobilized by President Donald Trump in September are now back home. Governor Tina Kotek and the Oregon Military Department sent us this video from PDX as the troops returned from Texas. As part of a demobilization requirements, the soldiers traveled to Texas to complete medical exams and paperwork before returning home.
And I really appreciate your commitment, courage, and professionalism in this situation. So thank you and welcome home.
Governor Kotek's office says the troops are now once again under her authority. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and events commemorating the civil rights leader are in full swing today. So Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from downtown Portland. Thomas, bring us up to speed on where these events are happening.
Yeah, Jenna, they really are happening all over the place. Down in Salem, there will be a peace walk today. There's going to be a community rally in Tualatin and a whole lot of things, including a brunch here in Portland. Also happening in the Rose City today, the Sunshine Division, along with Kaiser Permanente, are partnering to offer 1,400 free meals from 10 to 2 p.m. That brunch will take place at 11 o'clock this morning at the Oregon Convention Center, honoring the civil rights icon. And at 1:30, community leaders, faith leaders, and advocates will all meet at Elizabeth Carruthers Park, calling for the protection of immigrants in honor of Martin Luther King. We caught up with Portland Mayor Keith Wilson at an MLK event this weekend. He says Portland embraced King's values this past year when there was the possibility of the National Guard being deployed in town.
We rose up, we joined arms together. 50,000 of us protested and marched downtown.
And again, outside of Portland, Tualatin will hold a community rally in honor of Martin Luther King. That'll happen near the Tualatin Library. And in Salem, a peace walk will happen at McKay High School. That begins at 1 p.m. and it'll go till 3 o'clock this afternoon. All of these events, of course, in honor of Martin Luther King, who spent his life working to make America freer and more equal. China?
I'm Thomas Schultz reporting live. Thank you, Thomas. And today, in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, you will not need a pass to go to state parks in Washington or any lands managed by the state's Department of Natural Resources and Fish and Wildlife. Today is one of several free days throughout the year. Other free days include Earth Day, the state's Park 113th birthday on March 19th, and Smokey the Bear's birthday on August 9th. Did you know that Smokey the Bear has a birthday? I just learned that today.
I'd forgotten.
You forgot.
I'd forgotten.
Okay, okay. Well, remember this. It is 2 days before mine. So we're both Leos. Did you know that? Did you know Smokey the Bear is a Leo?
I find it easy to believe that you're both the same zodiac sign, yes.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Take what you will from that. Here's a look at our Oregon Veterans Home camera out at the Dalles. This is one of those spots that both Chris and myself have been following in terms of just the low cloud lockdown, which is produced by the temperature inversion. Right now, you folks are at 34 degrees. You do have an east wind at 9. Yesterday, your low was 35 and your high was 37. So if you stay cloudy today and you only warm up, 3 degrees or 2 degrees, you'll be 36, 37 for a high today. So again, it's very stable, consistent air, but it's just almost, dark during the daylight with those types of setups. The Columbia River Gorge forecast, if you are going out, you have clear skies in the west end. You get into Hood River, that's about where the low clouds begin. This shows Hood River 37, the Dalles 38. East wind still coming out of the west end of the gorge. Gusting as high in places like Corbett as 40 to 50 miles per hour in Troutdale today, which of course is out of the gorge, but still gusting to about 45. And then that wind quickly fizzles once you get through the gorge opening. Troutdale's a 37 right now. Wind gusts have been 30 to 40 this morning. Other than that, winds are pretty light. It's now, look at this, 27 in Hillsboro, no wind. Beaverton must be picking up just a bit of breeze, and it's 40 degrees. We've got 28 in Salem and 28 in Albany where frosty conditions are reported. Cheese is our KGW pet of the day. Hello. Like the name Cheese. Pet of the day at kgw.com is email address. Just attach your pet's photo and send it, and we'll feature your pet on our show. The weather map today is basically dry. Low clouds holding again from Pendleton through the Dalles, Hood River. This does extend into parts of central Oregon as well. The coast, sunny skies. 64 in North Bend, 59 in Tillamook. That's the warm spot. Portland about 50 today. Tomorrow will stay dry through at least Thursday. I introduced a shower chance on Friday and on Sunday, but we might just stay dry. Here's Chris.
Okay, Rod, of course, on a holiday, you expect the freeway drive maybe to be light, and it is. I mean, we are deep into our Monday morning commute, and there's hardly anyone out on the west side right now. This is Highway 26 out near 185th out in the Tannisbourne area. Traffic zipping along just fine there. This is I-5 through Wilsonville. The headlights here, that's the northbound commute, so you can see almost back to the Boone Bridge, which would be right about there. We're zipping along just fine across the freeway system. Right now, 9 minutes gets you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. That's the I-5 South commute. And Interstate 84, it's just 15 minutes from Troutdale. A reminder, of course, Max buses and TriMet, let's try that again, Max trains and TriMet buses running on Sunday schedules. There's no West Commuter Rail or PDX aerial tram today, of course, because of the holiday. China?
Thank you, Chris.
I've heard some people calling it the speed quake already, not only because it was speedy at the beginning of the game, but because he's so fast.
Still to come on Sunrise, the Beastquake may have just lost its crown. We're looking back at yesterday's Seahawks game at Lumen Field that shook the ground, which play had the fans jumping. Coming up when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
The Portland Thorns have teamed up with the Portland Art Museum to release their schedule for the 2026 season. The Thorns will open this season on the road against the Washington Spirit on March 13th, a rematch of last season's playoff semifinals. Their home opener is March 20th against Seattle. The Seahawks are advancing to the NFC Championship thanks in part to this play right here. Rashid Shaheed running the opening kickoff 95 yards down the field, scoring the Seahawks' first touchdown in just the first 13 seconds of the game. And that was just the start of it. A dominant game with the 49ers. Seahawks ended up taking home the win 41-6. And it's safe to say that fans are pretty stoked about them moving on to the championship and beyond.
Super Bowl is a dream that I think may be able to.
There you go. Saturday night, nearly 70,000 fans packed Lumen Field with celebrations spilling onto the streets of Seattle after the game. And the Beastquake has been given a run for its money thanks to some seismic activity at that game. It happened within seconds after a 95-yard touchdown was scored just 13 seconds into the game, causing the crowd to go wild. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network had preemptively installed 6 seismometers at Lumen Field, which they've done before for playoff games. Scientists analyzing the activity from their lab at UW saying that play was the most seismic activity of the entire game. But now we want to know, how does this rank compared to the iconic Beastquake at the 2011 playoff game?
It seems like the first play was the biggest of the day, actually, from the point of view of how strong it was shaking. And just to put it on a scale, it shook the place from the one instrument that we have that's in the same location as the Beastquake in 2011, about the same as the Beastquake. So very similar. Our team is refining the measurement, just making sure we get it right. But I can say it was about the same as the scale of the Beastquake.
And while this is not an earthquake, these rumblings are similar to a 3.2 earthquake. Isn't that something?
That's an exciting day and an otherwise dull day at the office, I'm guessing, for the people at the seismic laboratory there.
And they made it like the Seahawks colors, so I thought that was cute.
Yeah. No, that's fun stuff. And actually, I didn't watch that game. I didn't really realize it started that way until I saw our coverage on the show.
Bam!
Yeah, I saw the final score. Good grief. All right, let's take you up to the mountain. One of the spots like Portland, like the coast, enjoying just day after day after day after day after day after day of beautiful, sunny, clear skies. Note the snow was getting dirty up there, which of course happens. 42 is the number. It continues to be warmer up top than it is down low. In fact, the high at Timberline today could reach 50 degrees. That's what this shows. Meadows 48. It's interesting that it's quite a bit cooler at Government Camp. Now, this is a temperature inversion. 40 at Government Camp. So it's very possible that you have the coldest temperatures if you're going up the mountain today at base level, at Meadows, for example, and then it's warmer as you get going up through 6,000 feet on the upper chairlifts. Sunny skies, east winds, a lot of light winds, but 5 to 25 at most. High pressure ridging is still basically blanketing or covering all of Oregon and Washington. It's tough to see on the infrared satellite picture, but we do have cloudy skies. Low clouds being locked down by the temperature inversion, stagnant conditions, I meant to say. Eastern Washington, Hood River, the Dalles, Pendleton, down into parts of Central Oregon as well. Again, we're clear at the coast and we're clear up and down the valley. Looks like we've got some more surfers out in the water from our seaside camera. It's really been a great surfing camera. Didn't really expect that, but that's what we've ended up with this new look. Again, this is Seaside, 41 degrees. Here is, I think that's some frost on the grass, it looks like, and the temperature is 33 degrees. That's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club out in Aloha. You see the clear skies looking off to the west. 25 up in Kelso. You folks have been chilly. 28 in Salem, 24 Eugene, Bend's at 25. 11 and clear this morning down in Burns. Valley forecast. This is just absolutely repeat conditions from the last few days. Low 50s to upper 40s looks to be the range. It shows 51 now in Salem. Southwest Washington, maybe warmer. Battleground shows 54 degrees. Again, in close proximity to the Columbia and the opening of the gorge itself, winds gusting up to about 40 or 45 miles per hour from the east. Portland, 50 today, 50 tomorrow. We stay dry at least through Thursday. Thursday could be the day that we finally say goodbye to the east winds as the wind direction veers back to the west. We've got shower chances on Friday and developing on Sunday, but understand those shower chances aren't very good. Statistically, there's a better chance that we would just stay dry. Yeah, here's Chris.
Right, and to the east side where you mentioned the low clouds are really socked in here. This is what it looks like over near Ty Valley, or Ty Ridge, I should say. This is not far from the Dalles, right in Wasco County. And note the temperatures there are well below freezing as well. We take you farther south into central Oregon near Juniper Butte. Again, with temperatures in low 20s, fog, obviously slick roadways east of the Cascades could be widespread, at least this morning. All right, drive times across the region, as you might expect on this holiday, very, very light. Here's the trip in from Tannisbourne, pretty wide open on that side of town. Elsewhere on the freeway system, we are zipping right along as if it's not a work day. And for a lot of folks, it's not. 9 minutes right now gets you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge on I-5. China.
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on Sunrise, a lifelong photographer captures the civil rights movement in South Carolina and around the country. How his images still resonate with a new generation. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
In a small town in South Carolina, one man is making it his personal mission to ensure African American history will be able to speak for itself forever. NBC's Marquise Francis has a story.
Cecil Williams has captured decades of history.
I remember me begging my mother for a camera that was advertised in Sears Roebuck that cost $75.
The 87-year-old photographer documented the civil rights movement in South Carolina, a tapestry of time. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King, Jesse Jackson, Thurgood Marshall, his images all displayed here in a museum he opened with his wife in Orangeburg, which he plans to expand soon.
Civil rights and the pursuit for freedom, justice, and equality really started much earlier here in South Carolina, and I am an eyewitness to that.
In 1951, Williams photographed Briggs versus Elliott, the first case that challenged segregation in the state's public schools, a precursor to Brown versus Board of Education. And these are the shell casings from the 1968 Orangeburg Massacre, where police officers killed 3 student protesters on a college campus.
What do you feel like is the power of an image and the power of photography?
I think that the power of photography is often overlooked. It imitates life to the fullest, to see what an image is all about, and so it has that power and that capacity to tell a story much quicker.
Williams is also an activist. Pictured here in 1956, drinking from a whites-only water fountain when he was 25 years old.
This was not the first time that I, you might say, defied the laws and the regulations that were in a small town.
That image resonating with a new generation. Williams invited to New York Fashion Week, all part of a larger lesson.
Whenever hate comes along, just in general, period, it's not sustainable. It's something that's against mankind, and it won't last.
Meaningful moments, now forever on display. Marquise Francis, NBC News, Orangeburg, South Carolina.
More than 70 new trees are taking root in urban neighborhoods surrounding the MLK corridor of Northeast Portland. Friends of Trees teamed up with the Portland Parks and Recreation's urban forestry team to teach student volunteers how to properly plant trees. They say this is part of Northeast, one of Portland's most heat vulnerable areas, and they want to plant as many trees as homeowners will allow. This is the second year for this community planting event, which is held on the Saturday before Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
It helps moderate the climate. It makes things cooler for people. It is obviously oxygen. We all love oxygen. And it helps clean the water that comes in from runoff from streets and houses.
Well, coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with more events in Portland today that honor the civil rights pioneer.